Before we dive into the blood-soaked madness of this 88 film slasher classic collection review, a quick heads up for listeners and viewers alike. These episodes come straight from the podcast Under the Stairs archives, recorded before the launch of the YouTube channel and long before video podcasts became part of the show. These reviews were originally crafted purely for audio. So if the production feels a little rougher around the edges or a little more stripped back than current episodes, that's because you're hearing the show in its earlier form, raw, passionate, and let's be honest, a little waffly at times. Whether you're revisiting these reviews or discovering them for the first time, please sit back and relax and enjoy this trip through the golden age of mass killers, inventive gore, and VH era nightmares. This podcast is not safe for work and will feature movie spoilers. It will feature scenes described of a graphic nature. It will contain language which most listeners may find offensive. Welcome to the podcast Under the Stairs. Hi everyone and welcome to the podcast Under the Stairs. This is your 88 films slasher classics collection series of reviews. I'm your host Duncan. Welcome to the show. On this episode we are looking at disc number 14. We are continuing our 3-movie look at the not slasher series, but it's in the collection so we have to cover it. Children of the Corn franchise. Just the first 3 installments. 2 weeks ago we looked at the original Children of the Corn, and this number 14 brings us to the second installment, Children of the Corn 2, The Final Sacrifice. That review will be coming right up after the first break. But how you doing? This is Sunday. We're almost closing out another week of phenomenal podcast content, another week of bants, another week of highs and lows, a week in which you guys selected as your Season 2 kickoff of the Choose Your Own Horror podcast adventure, The Dark Half, by Georgie Romero and penned by Stephen King. So that'll be coming up in the next 2 weeks, so keep your eyes peeled for that. This is essentially the last stop before we officially kick off the Summer Teapot's Top 10 series of reviews, looking at the decade known as the 90s, kicking off tomorrow, and what a action-packed series that's going to be, running over 10 weeks of podcast content before we close it out with a couple of big old massive round tables. That's right, everyone loves a little round table, but these won't be little at all. What probably will likely be about 15 hours worth of roundtable content, and I think that's an estimate. I'm going to have to do it over several recordings just because of the time zones, but I'm very excited about kicking off this series because we have people from all walks of life, all over America, the UK and Australia represented, so we really are picking people from the 4 corners of the planet. I could not be more excited to do it, and we're chatting about 90s horror, a decade which is much maligned and I think unfairly, and we'll find out if that is the case when you guys run through the gambit, cross the Rubicon with me and my guests. So yeah, it's going to be good fun all around. But that's not all that's coming next week. You have until Wednesday to get your review in for Movie Club. I'll be honest, I've had 2 reviews for Movie Club. I thought Asian horror, that'll be really good. I'll locate the movie, I'll put the location of the movie out there so people can find it as well, because people will get involved. Turns out less people got involved, so you have until Wednesday to check out The Confession. It's a Japanese horror movie, and then come back to me with your review before we go live on Thursday with that review. It's not boding well for J-horror, I'll be honest with you, not boding well at all. With all that in mind, let's get into this. I want to try and make this episode nice and succinct because tomorrow's episode is 3.5 hours plus, so you're just being warned in advance. So we're going to take a very short break just now. You're going to hear promos for shows that I love. You're going to hear the trailer for disc number 14 of the 88 film slasher classics collection. This is Children of the Corn 2. That's right, it's time for some Final Sacrifice. First time watch for this guy. We're going to be back to discuss that movie right after this.
All right. Welcome to the Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast.
Dave, hold the phone there, man. This isn't a show. It's a promo.
Oh, sorry. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Wait, a porno? With just the three of us?
Oh.
Well, I guess I'm game if you guys are.
No, you idiot. A promo.
Oh, promo. I knew that. I was just cracking wise.
Okay, can we do this now? Wait, looks like I lost my notes. What are we gonna do?
Of course, okay. Look, I'll handle this. All right, everybody. I'm Christian. You may know me from TJF 13. This guy over here, that's Dave Z. You may know him from Banana Laser, The Skeleton Crew, the ABCs of Hidden Horror. And this guy over here, that's Brandon.
That's Brandon? That's it? That sucks, man.
Yeah, what the hell's with that? There's nothing else you can say?
No, not really.
Well, he's quick with a joke.
Or a light of your smoke.
But there's someplace that I'd rather be.
Who cares about us? Let's say something about the cast.
Okay, cool. We're the Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast. We review, dissect, critique, and make fun of horror movies new and old.
Sounds a little bit cliche, but I guess it's okay.
Dave, why don't you tell them a little bit about some of our big shows, like the 40 Years of Horror, our top 50 slashers, even our classic format of pairing a new and an old movie together.
Yeah, and how I have to edit like 3-4 hour shows twice a month just because we watch and review so damn much.
Yeah, and how we do feature-length reviews, shorter length, round-robin reviews, top 20 topics, and a lot of fun interaction with listeners.
That about covers it.
All right, sounds good, guys.
I knew we could do it.
Tell the fine folks out there where to find us, Dave.
Oh yeah, Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast can be found on Horrorphilia.com, the Horrorphilia Network, LegionPodcast.com, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, and anywhere that fine podcasts are heard.
All right, that's a wrap. Now, guys, tell me, what's the deal with this porno?
Are you the caboose or the engine? Them's the jokes, folks.
We have just witnessed a terrible tragedy.
It all began here.
We are one.
In these fields.
We are one.
With the children of the corn.
We are one.
What happened is over, Mrs. Burke. It's over.
We are one.
Well, a bunch of kids killed all the adults in town. Just your basic Sunday afternoon Bible belt.
But the adult's nightmare isn't over yet.
People are actually worried about problems with our sweet, innocent children.
There's something out there. There's something. It's evil. It's gotten a hold of our children.
Did you see what happened? Your blood was for the corn.
Based on the shocking short story from Master of Horror Stephen King.
Have you ever seen evil? It works through the children.
This is Children of the Corn 2.
He who walks behind the rows commands that we rid the land of all that defileth the corn.
I don't want you hanging around with these kids around here.
They were adults. We have seen the way of that world, and it is evil. There is a power greater than all, and it is within us. She warned you. She warned all of you. The blood of those that defileth the corn must flow into the earth.
We are one. We are one. We are one.
Did you really think that he who walks behind the rows would allow you to escape? She is the first to be sacrificed!
Children of the Corn 2. Deadly Harvest.
And welcome back. So you've just heard the trailer for disc number 14 of the 88 Films Slasher Classics Collection. We are looking at Children of the Corn 2, The Final Sacrifice. According to the 88 Films website, the blurb says, a young couple uncovers the horrors that lay hidden in the small community of Gatlin, Nebraska. 3 years earlier, all the adults suffered a terrible fate at the hands of their own sons and daughters, victims of a bloody cult of human sacrifice. Now the bodies have been discovered, and the neighbouring townsfolk of Hemmingford agree to shelter the traumatised children, unaware that they are opening the door to an awesome force that will threaten their very existence. Featuring some malicious set pieces and a script co-written by Gilbert Adler, producer of Superman Returns and Valkyrie, Children of the Corn 2 The Final Sacrifice carves up a thrilling entry into the winning franchise formula. The special features on this disc were our original working print of the first positive print of Children of the Corn 2, The Final Sacrifice, used in the editing process, English subtitles, the original theatrical trailer and reverse sleeve artwork. It's region locked to region B. Picture format is HD 1080p 1781. Audio format is LPCM stereo. The language is purely English and the subtitles also purely English. And the movie's just over an hour and a half long. So this was a first time watch for me. I'd never seen this movie before, and I was, to be honest, kind of keen to check it out, in that having watched that first movie back and realising that I didn't actually really like it all that much, I was keen to see how quickly things would drop off, if they would drop off. And I'll be honest, I actually preferred this one to the first one. I'm probably going to get shot on this. I don't know if it's because my expectations were just lowered so much. But Children of the Corn 2 is more in line with what I kind of expect from a sequel to a movie based by Stephen King where there is no real story to go further with. What they do is they just get kind of goofy with it in a way which I kind of enjoyed. To be honest with you, overall, I don't think this is nearly as threatening as the first movie, but some of the deaths and some of the set pieces in this movie are more campy and more fun and just something that I was kind of looking forward to. That previous movie kind of took itself a bit too serious. Outlander! You know, all that shit gets a bit dull pretty quick. This movie, on the other hand, like I say, campy's probably the word I would use to describe it. Their kind of Isaac substitute here is a bit younger, looks less like a kind of like a mole man from The Simpsons, and more like a kid. And he's probably done things before. In fact, there was a few people, like the main protagonist man in this is like a not quite Sean Astin, and some of the other characters here I'm sure I've went on to see in other things. To be honest with you, faces seem recognisable, and I have no inclination to spend too much time delving into the history of where the actors went post Children of the Corn 2. So suffice to say, I think that probably quite a few of them have had a storied career and probably still working to this day. What I really liked about the movie, though, is the idea of the children's power kind of spiralling out. And I actually kind of really liked the very Stephen King-esque, although not penned by Stephen King, idea of them furthering into the mythology of kind of the Native American heritage, the land, the prophecies, etc., that spin out from that. I think that's really interesting. I think, to be honest with you, that's where the movie kind of shines, when it's doing a bit more of the investigation stuff, which I didn't think was handled all that well in the previous movie, coming to something completely batshit crazy. I mean, there's nothing here to hang your hat on or get purchase on, but there are a couple of wonderful set pieces, including a house kind of collapsing on a woman. It's very, very, very Wizard of Oz. And also on top of that, there's a phenomenal scene at a church here where a guy's eyes just start fucking bleeding because of the power of a voodoo doll. Like, I loved that scene. It was quite horrific compared to how the rest of the movie plays out. But then you've also got a church being burned down with practitioners inside, or parishioners, not practitioners, or both, because you're practicing and you're a yeah, both words work. Both. I've got a grasp of the English language, kind of grasp from the wrong end. So I really liked that. I think the movie suffers a couple of big glaring issues. One of them is that the actual kid acting here is not even as good as the first movie. So whilst I like my kind of Isaac replacement, there's no doubting that the Isaac character is far more malicious and far more sinister in the first movie than the kind of reiteration, revised version 2.0 in the second movie. You know, it just isn't the same. The movie really struggles with the idea of what to replace the Malachi character with. And I think that even though Malachi gets really annoying really quick, I like him as a presence of someone who just feels like things are not going as quick or as far enough, you know, taking the idea of scripture to the next level, which Stephen King is really good at in writing in his books, and sometimes I feel we get good iterations of. You only have to look at something like The Mist to see how you can twist and turn that to a way where it's really quite scary, like pure belief at its core. So I think the movie kind of misses out on that. Also, some of the kind of effects in this movie are a bit shit. You know what I mean? just a bit shit. If the previous one suffered with some digital effects, the digital effects in this one are getting no better, even though we're later on and you would think time would be kind and technology would be better. They're not all that great. There's also a conceit here about we'll just move it to another village, but we'll do exactly the same thing that we did before. And that's a bit of a stretch in the story. To be honest, when this movie finished, I was kind of like, I don't know how you do another movie after this. And I'm very much aware that we have one to do, and I don't quite know where to go with that. I will say the 88 film print for the movie is actually fucking great. It looks really, really clean and crisp. The subtitles I did put on seem to match up a lot better than some of the subtitles that have been made for previous 88 films ones, so they were bang on the money. I was kind of upset that the special features were as slight on this one. This is not a particularly old movie, and I imagine that a lot of people involved are still around, so I don't know why they didn't kind of really make an effort here. And what's kind of more annoying is that like this is part of a box set that I paid a bit extra money for when it first came out, that I expect if you're going to wrap up a collector's edition box set, you're going to put the effort in, and maybe these are going to be one-time special features that if they do a re-release for a separate disc they don't appear on, which most companies do now. That's not the case here, so it's very sparse on things. I understand it's great to have the original work print on the disc, but I don't see a positive to having that out with an academic study of how movies change over time. To me, I would much rather have some interviews with actors involved, maybe a bit of discussion with people who are, you know, steeped in the lore of the franchise, or something like that. There are plenty of people out there that are fans of this franchise that are more academically gifted in the journalism side. Speak to them. So I don't understand that. I kind of feel like this release is very light on it, so I've been kind of shortchanged a little bit, which is a bit sad because like there was actually pretty good features on the previous one, and this one almost feels like, well, we'll put the second one in there because we acquired the rights to it, but you know, everyone really likes the first movie, so we're not going to really bother fleshing this out. So like I say, they could try harder doing that, in my personal opinion. Out with that, the movie was fun. I think it's not a great movie by any stretch of the imagination. Weirdly, I enjoy it more than the first one, even though it has some glaring holes. This movie to me is a popcorn fodder piece that requires no real attention and no real thought afterwards. I'll be lucky if I remember this movie at the end of the year, and I'm kind of okay with that, because for the hour and a half I was watching it, I kind of chuckled, my eyes rolled a little bit, and I had some fun, which, like I said before, if you're going to give me a franchise called Children of the Corn, that's the level I expect these movies to operate at. I don't expect them to operate at some kind of higher power, headier levels. So yeah, this movie did quite well with me, and I feel as a score it probably gets a 3.5, somewhere between I liked it and I really liked it. I don't know if I'll ever watch this one again, but I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't feel awful if I did. Whereas that first movie, I probably won't revisit any time again, unless I want to maybe sit down with my kid a couple of years in the future and put on something that might get a reaction from her. But even then, I don't think it has much kind of staying power. Where this movie, instantly forgettable, was like infinitely enjoyable. So there we go. I give this one a 3.5 out of 5 for Children of the Corn 2. I'm actually kind of looking forward to checking out this third one. More so because I want to see if they continue the tone. If they don't, then we might have some issues, but we'll wait and see, and I will give you some details on that after I come back from my final break, which I'm going to do right now. And you've been listening to the podcast Under the Stairs. You have been checking out our 88 films slasher classics collection, looking at disc number 14. We're doing Children of the Corn 2, and it was The Final Sacrifice, a movie which was surprisingly better than I expected, but I'm going to double down on this. Not a fucking slasher movie. Come on, people. What we're doing here? It's time to turn our attention to where we're going in 3 weeks' time. Now, I know what you're thinking. 3 weeks' time, Duncan? Surely it's 2. No, because we're mixing things up. This particular slasher collection has really tested my resolve. So much so that I'm implementing a brand new subset to go along with our Sunday episodes. So the slasher classics will now be every third week from now on, right? So 3 weeks from now, another slasher classics episode. In 2 weeks' time, we'll return with our Italian collection series. So 2 weeks from today, Italian collection series. And kicking off Next Sunday, we're going to be doing, and the names are still out there, but we're going to be doing a series looking at my Arrow video collection. So I've got fucking shitloads of Arrow videos, Blu-rays just lying there, begging to be opened, begging to be watched, and begging to be reviewed. And way back at the beginning of the podcast Under the Stairs, I used to review the new releases that I got in, and then I just kind of stopped. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a randomised selection of them. I'm going to use an app on my phone or something to basically pick a random title from my Arrow collection, and we're going to do a full review on that, and that is going to be starting next Sunday. I still need to come up with a quirky name, but your order will be next Sunday, an Arrow video random. The following week will be Italian collection. The week after that, slasher classic. And that is the order. We'll be doing them every 3 weeks. It also means that we'd start panning out a bit of time between those Italian collection ones, because we are slowly creeping up on the extent of the release of those Blu-rays, so we'll be there or thereabouts, kind of slowing things down. So that's the upcoming plan. I'll announce during the week what the Arrow video random selection was, and then that episode will drop on Sunday. However, let's not get ahead of ourselves. 3 weeks time we return with disc number 15 of the Slasher Classics collection. It's the final of the 3-part look at the Children of the Corn franchise. Children of the Corn 3 Urban Harvest. According to the 88 Films website, it says, perhaps the most potent of all the Children of the Corn sequels, this third installment gives an early role to future Oscar winner Charlize Theron of Monster and Mad Max Fury Road. With Nebraska cowering in fear at the thought of another child-led slice-and-dice revolution, 2 youngsters are adopted and taken to Chicago, where, it would seem they're safe from the satanic influences. Alas, the opposite is true, and even the big city life is revealed to be irrelevant to our clan of pint-sized psychopaths. The special features on this disc are Return to the Corn, the reinvention of a Fear franchise, a look at how the hit Children of the Corn series was reimagined for the new millennium, the extended finale, original theatrical trailer, and obviously the reverse cover art. The technical specs for it, Region B, picture format HD 1080p 178.1. The audio format is LPCM stereo. Certification is 18. It's about an hour and a half long, and that is coming in 3 weeks' time. There's a multitude of ways to check out podcasts Under the Stairs in the interim. Please come across and check us out on Apple Podcasts, subscribe to the feed, and leave us a rating and a review. It's the best way to support us on that platform. You can, however, check us out also on Stitcher Smart Radio, SoundCloud, Google Play, TuneIn, and Spotify. You can visit our website by going to tputscast.com. And if you want to buy some merch and support the show, you can buy pins and posters by going to tputscast.bigcartel.com. You can visit us on Facebook in 2 places if you want to join the group page, chat to other listeners, interact with the show, get involved with polls and all the other things that we do over there. That's facebook.com/groups/tputscast. If you're only interested as and when the shows drop, occasionally check out a live stream on a Thursday, then you want to go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/tputscast. You can interact with myself and the Baz on the twin prongs of social media sexiness, Instagram and Twitter. Both can be followed at TPutsCast. If you want to become part of a brand new revolution sweeping the nation, you can join us on Flick Chat. Download the Flick Chat app. It's more discussion thread topic bases, but you're not likely to see spoilers for movies or see anything you don't want to see unless you actually click in our discussion topics that we have there. It's like a giant message board. It's kind of fucking cool. Download Flick Chat, and to find us, all you have to do is press the plus button, join by code, and type in all lowercase and one word, the podcast Under the Stairs, and come across, join in the conversation. There's about 20 of us over there now, posting all manner of shit and enjoying horror and horror conversations in a safe environment. So do that, Flick Chat. Right. Oh, ladies and gents, this is the last stop. Tomorrow we kick off the Summer Teapots Top 10 series looking at the 90s. First episode will be 1990. Oh, strap yourself in for a hour of bants. I was going to say an hour, it's 3 hours, 3.5 hours, 3.5 plus hours of bants. And a lot of trauma. There's a lot of trauma on these shows for your entertainment pleasure. But until I speak to you then, please take care of yourselves out there, wherever you are, whatever the time zone is and whatever you're up to. This is Duncan McLeish broadcasting live from Under the Stairs. And ladies and gents, I am signing off.